the new NHS inductees, and ask that your presence will come and be here and that glory will be brought to your name through this program. In Jesus' name, amen.
It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker this evening. She is the mother of one of our newest NHS inductees this evening, and she's also a good friend of mine and has been for many years. Mrs. Tiffany Potter comes to us from the Holly area, where we were church members together for a long time. I had the privilege of serving alongside her in adventures, pathfinders, making hot lunches, driving for field trips, all the things. So I know her to be a wonderful Christian woman, a wonderful mother, and a wonderful friend. Mrs. Potter received a Bachelor of Social Work from Grand Valley State University, and then she went on to get her master's degree, also in social work, from the University of Michigan. She, as you can probably guess from her education, is working as a social worker. She works for the Department of Health and Human Services, and she's been there for many years, leading out in trainings, managing grants, and probably 100 other things that her daughter couldn't tell me when I asked her what her mom does for a living. Mrs. Potter loves walking her dog Mina, playing board games and card games with her family, even though she doesn't get to do that nearly enough. And she's still hard at work with our old Holly Hedgehog Pathfinder Club that I love so much. She actively helps out in her community by providing food through the church and the community services. Mrs. Potter exemplifies Jesus in her job and in her family and in her volunteer work that she does. She is an all-around kind woman and an outstanding friend, and I'm so happy to be able to welcome here tonight as our NHS speaker.
That's so nice. Thank you, Tracy. I didn't have any expectation that I would cry, which is silly because I'm a crier. I'm a social worker. I'm all about feelings. So, just ignore it. It's okay. Crying is okay. It's good. So if you see a few tears landed, it's all right, right? Yeah, right. You were a hedgehog, and then you were also my pathfinder, so I know you well. So I want to thank you, Mrs. Morgan, for asking me to speak today. I was not fortunate enough to come to Great Lakes Adventist Academy. I went to public school, and I just feel because this is NHS induction that I have to confess this to you all. I was not an NHS kid. I was so far from an NHS kid that I did not even know what National Honor Society was when I was in high school. So for all you non-National Honor Society kids, I see you. It's okay. God has a path for all of us. We all have our own talents, right? But when Tracy asked me to talk here today, I thought this is my only opportunity to be a part of an NHS induction, so I jumped on it. So thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. So let's just take a moment. We're going to start with prayer, and then we'll get into it. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the opportunity to be together and close your Sabbath together. I pray that you would use me to speak to the hearts of the people here today and speak to my heart too. We love you. Amen. So like Mrs. Morgan said, I'm a social worker, and I was really interested to hear how you were going to introduce me because I got a call from Elena last night that said to me, look, if Mrs. Morgan introduces you and it's a little weird, it's because she asked me what you do and I have no idea what you do. I know that you are on meetings all day. I know that you train people and your coworkers swear a lot. So she learned that through virtual, at home, and I learned to put my earbuds in after a little bit. And so, I really can't blame her. My family doesn't really know what I do. My husband is sitting back there right under the light, so I can't really see him. He probably knows better than anyone else what I do. But it's not really their fault. I've been a social worker for 30 years. I see the worst of this world. I see how sin has hurt and traumatized people in some pretty horrific ways, and I don't want to bring that home to my family. I don't want to talk about that with my friends. And also, I found out pretty early on that when people asked me what I did, when I first started as a social worker, people would ask me what I do, and I was pretty honest with them. The conversation got real awkward real quick, and no one really wanted to be around me, or everybody wanted to be around me and tell me all their problems. So I learned just to be real vague. I'm just a social worker, so that's what we'll stick with today. But yes, I do work for the state of Michigan, and I think the hardest part of my job isn't my job, but it's the fact that I can't bring Jesus into my job. So it's really important that there's a separation of church and state. I completely support that for our religious liberty. We know when the two combine, bad things can happen, right? But it's really hard to teach people how to help people overcome what they have experienced because of sin without talking to them about the only person who can help us with that, right? Help us with the sin problem with Jesus. And so what I've learned early on is that when I go and I train people, I really talk to them and I teach them how to help like Jesus without telling them I'm teaching them how to help like Jesus. So that's sort of how I get around that. But today, when I was asked to talk here today, I thought I get to talk about Jesus openly. Not only do I get to, but I'm encouraged to, and that's what I'm here for. And so today I'm going to spend this time just talking about the love of Jesus. And that might seem a little odd as we're at NHS Induction, and really that's a time where people talk about character and service and leadership. But I just don't know how to do that without talking about the only example of what a true leader is, right? The only example we have of perfect character is in Jesus. And I can't really talk about Jesus without talking about love, because Jesus is love, right? And particularly because we're in a room right now full of people who are really high achievers, I feel like God placed this on my heart to say this around why he loves you, right? So he loves you not because you got into NHS, but great job for those of you who did, right? He loves you not because of your grades. He doesn't love you because of what you've achieved. You cannot earn his love, and you cannot lose his love. The more you do, he's not going to love you more. And if you mess up, like if you're like me, you mess up all the time, he's not going to love you any less. He loves you not because of what you do, but he loves you because that's who he is. He is love, period. That's all he can do. That's who he is. And so in 1 John 4:16, we read and see that, so we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us. God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. And if we want to know what a real leader is, we look at the example of Jesus, and he led completely out of love. A love that wasn't focused on himself, a love that was completely other-centered. All that he did here on this earth was for one purpose. He came to seek and to save the lost, and he did that in a way that was completely counterculture. It was counterculture then, and it's absolutely counterculture now. He did it by serving, and his power wasn't in how mighty he was. It wasn't in his prestige. It wasn't in his title. It wasn't in, wealth. His power was in his love. And he showed the truth and beauty of his character through sacrificial and humble service. And he drew people in, and he drew them in by connecting with them, by seeing them, by really seeing them. Have you ever been with those people who they just get you? They just see you. You feel safe in their presence. That's who Jesus was. He saw their hearts, and he attended to their needs, and he allowed his love and the love of the Father to flow out of him. And that love was power, and it transformed the people that it touched. In John 12:32, Jesus said, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. Because the character and love of Jesus is beautiful, and people are drawn to it. And I would guess that some of you know people in your life. I've seen it all through my work. I've seen people who have had no safe, loving person in their life to connect with. It's heartbreaking. They have no one that they have been able to turn to. They have no one who's believed in them. All the people that have been put in their life to care for them have used and abused them, literally. And you know how powerful it can be when someone sits with you and they love you. They see you, all your faults, and they love you anyway. It's transformational. And when I look at each of you, and I'm really speaking to the young people here, NHS inductees and not, when I look at you, I see the transformational work of Jesus at work, or love of Jesus at work. When I look at you, I hear people talk about you as the future leaders of the church, but that's not how I see you. I see you as the leaders of the church. God has created you and put you in this point in time in history for a particular reason. And he has uniquely equipped each one of you with a special talent, a special gift to move his work forward. Like, I look at Landon. You have a big, loving heart. God gave you that to point people to him. He really does. He does. I see Ara. You're feisty. Yep, I'm going to call you out. Yeah, you are feisty, and he gave you that. He put that in you, that passion for him. Jayla, you have a loving, beautiful, loyal heart. He gave that to you for a purpose, to share his love with other people. And I look around, and you all have your own talents. Whether you realize it or not, you have been given a gift from Jesus, and the purpose of that gift is to share it with other people. And then in doing that, you are going to be blessed as well, because that's how he works. So the thing is, as teenagers, you can touch people and you can reach people that us old folks, we can't, right? There's something sort of counterculture, just like Jesus, about a teenager who is not self-centered. You know what society says about you, right? Teenagers are all about themselves. They're self-centered. They don't care about anyone. I don't see that. I don't see that in you all. You have the love of Jesus in your heart. And when you sacrifice, when you give, when you help, when you serve, people in society, they take notice. And when they do, that's your opportunity to point them to Jesus. Every gift you have is given to you for a purpose. Every time you help someone, every time you show care or concern, you're demonstrating the love of Jesus. But here's the thing. You can't share the love of Jesus, you can't connect people with the love of Jesus if you don't have the love of Jesus in your heart. So today when we were at church, for those of you who were there, I think most of you were, you heard Jordan talk about how, society is becoming more and more secular. They're turning their back on religion. They're not turning their back on Jesus. What I see, and what I think part of this is, we've got an awful lot of Christians out there that don't have the love of Christ in their heart. And so what I see is people turning their back on religion without Christ, which is meaningless. What this world is craving are for people like you to step out and to show them the love and character of Christ. Because if we do, people will be drawn in. So I bet many of you have grown up in the church and you've heard this over and over. Spend time with Jesus. Walk with Jesus every day. And it seems so simple, like so basic even. Like there's even a Cradle Roll song. I bet you all could sing it. Read your Bible, pray every day, and you'll grow. Yeah, and you can thank me. You're going to have that in your head for the rest of the day. But yeah, it seems so basic. It seems so simple, but it's not. And it's not because you're a teenager that it's not easy, that it's not simple. It's a struggle for all of us. I would encourage you to talk to your parents. Talk to your pastor, talk to your youth leaders, talk to any of these adults here, talk to Principal Garcia. And if they're honest with you, they will tell you one of the biggest struggles is consistently prioritizing time to spend with Jesus every single day. Because we're human. And we have an enemy that knows that Jesus is the only source of true love, true peace, true happiness. And it seems silly to think that we have a difficult time prioritizing time to connect with that power, yet we walk around every day feeling depressed and anxious and lonely and sad. But we're human, and the enemy knows he's laser focused on separating us from Jesus, period. And so I really am going to challenge you. When I say spend time with him, don't check it off your list. Like workout, check. Devotion, check. Vitamins, check. Nope, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about coming to him every single day just to learn more about who he is. Just to sit in his presence, open his word, talk to him. You have questions? It's okay, take it to him. You're frustrated with some of the things that you feel that he's allowing to happen in your life? That's great. Bring it to him. Talk to him about it. If it's boring when you open the Bible, same. Sometimes it's boring. And I bet you everyone here, if they're honest, will tell you that they've opened the Bible before and it's been boring to them. That they've read the same sentence 4 or 5 times and it means nothing. That they don't want to spend time in the Word and they don't want to spend time talking to God because they've messed up so many times, they're just embarrassed and ashamed to come to Him. But that's the only thing that we have in our power to do, is to say yes to Jesus every single day. And the good thing is, He is the one that has the power to change us, to change our hearts, to change our desires, right? It's okay that sometimes you don't feel like it. Sometimes we don't feel like it either. What's important is that you hang on and you just do it. Because it's important to believe His promise when He says that He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. And the key word is He, Jesus. You have no part in changing your character. You can't will yourself into being better. You can't will yourself into loving Jesus. You can't will yourself into having a heart that's transformed. That's His job. One of my all-time favorite verses in the Bible is Matthew 11:28-30. And as a mom, this brings a whole different meaning. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Jesus is telling us to come to Him and then rest in Him and let Him take care of all the rest. We can't do it. We need to quit striving. And I might never be asked back again, but I'm going to kind of go rogue here. Don't focus on what you're doing wrong. Don't even focus on what you should be doing. Focus on Jesus, and He will take care of the rest. I promise you. Because the more time we spend with Jesus, the more we give Him access to our hearts, the more He's able to show us the beauty of His love and of His character, and the more we want to spend time with Him. The power of Jesus is His love, and it will transform your hearts, it will transform your desires, and you will be able to help but share with other people and be the only kind of leader that really matters, the kind that lead people to the saving, transforming, beautiful love of Jesus. And so my prayer for you today is that you remember that your greatest accomplishment, I mean, really the only accomplishment that will ever matter in your life, is to say yes to Jesus every single day.
Thank you, Mrs. Potter, for your thoughts for worship in our induction ceremony this evening. At this time, we will proceed with a very important ceremony, the 2024 induction ceremony of the J.G. Lamson chapter of the National Honor Society. Membership in the National Honor Society is both an honor and a responsibility. Students who have been selected have demonstrated the qualities of outstanding scholarship, service, leadership, and character.
The following guidelines are used for selection. A student or candidate eligible for membership must have been in attendance at Great Lakes Adventist Academy for 1 full semester prior to selection. The candidate must be a member of the sophomore, junior, or senior class and have a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. These students are then evaluated not on the basis of grades alone, but also on the basis for service, leadership, and character. To be selected for the membership in the National Honor Society is indeed a great honor.
The name of this chapter is the J.G. Lamson chapter of the National Honor Society of Secondary Schools, which appears on the charter granted by the National Council of the National Honor Society, duly signed by the National Secretary. The reason the name J.G. Lamson was chosen is because he was the first principal of Cedar Lake Academy when it opened in 1898, and he was the first teacher at Adelphian Academy in 1904.
Each of these candles before us represent qualities or members of the School of Life must develop. The white candle represents the internal light of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. These, the greatest elements of life, work together to lead to the highest success. Before achievement, all have participated in this wide searching for truth. The membership of the J.G. Lamson chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by the effective demonstration of the four qualities held in high esteem of the society: scholarship, leadership, character, and service. We will now review the qualities used to select the candidates.
Scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended. Knowledge is one great element in life which leads to the highest success and can be acquired only in one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past and the light which illuminates the future. Candidates must continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship.
The green candle represents service. Service can be expressed in various ways. In the routine of a day's work, opportunity may arise to help others. Willingness to work without monetary compensation or without recognition for the benefit of those in need is a quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain that same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interest for the interests of others. No matter what power and resources may exist, they are ineffectual without the guidance of wise leaders. Leaders can also be demonstrated through a quiet yet strong willingness to be a Christian role model, willing to assist and support classmates and faculty alike.
Character is that force within each individual which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each one individuality and personality. It is that without which no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is a force of character which guides one through life, and when once developed, grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is a problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, we may hope to prove by example that we value character.
Members of the Faculty Council for the J.G. Lamson chapter of the National Honor Society will now give a short profile of each inductee, one at a time. When an inductee's name is read, he or she should come to the front, sign the register, come to the podium to receive a sash and certificate, and take his or her place as a member of Great Lakes Adventist Academy's National Honor Society.
Good evening, our distinguished guests, faculty, and students. Tonight it's my honor to introduce 4 outstanding individuals who exemplify the principles of leadership and service and character and academic excellence that defines the National Honor Society. The first student that we induct this evening is no stranger to the local community, growing up here in a family who is wholly committed to kindness and service towards others. Many might initially label him as quiet and or shy, but are instead finding a gentleman who listens and observes before jumping into speaking. This young man is easily engaged with his friends, and it was a pleasure to watch him on our Boston trip, exploring, joking, and having fun. Aaron Beardsley is a junior here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy. He worked in our Plant Services Department every summer for 3 years, and he is now working at the Plant Services Department. And he often can be found in the summers also baling hay and helping at the cafeteria during special events or engaged in some special Pathfinder event. Aaron serves as a team leader in training in our local Pathfinder Club and has participated in collecting and distributing food baskets during Thanksgiving, making cards of encouragement for the sick, visiting shut-ins, and volunteering at Camp Asabo, including assisting in rebuilding and reinforcing the boardwalk around the lake, and delivering a few sermons during Pathfinder Sabbaths. This year, Aaron has been serving as a member of the Great Lakes Adventist Academy Concert Choir. Also serves on a yearbook team as a photographer and photo editor. He has a cheerful attitude and is always willing to help. Aaron, welcome to the National Honor Society. And don't leave, because I got these for you. All right, wait for it. I'm embarrassed. She's so sorry. Yeah. It's truly been a blessing for me to get to know this student over the past 3 years. Some students should take a particularly keen interest in watching them develop and grow into a young person that God wishes for them to be. And this young man has an unusually deep care for his fellow man and women and children and even sheep. Brian Klopping is a 3-year junior here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy. He has served his classmates as a class officer both in his sophomore and junior year. He has a flair for drama in which he demonstrated being arguably the best demoniac possible in his freshman year skit. He's been a tutor and is currently serving as a student teacher and lab assistant in my web design class. He's attended both Puerto Rico and Cuba missions here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy, and he's served others by cleaning homes, mowing lawns, and helping other community members move out of their homes or their businesses. He's made cards of encouragement and has done other service projects. Because he cares for young people, he's looking forward to working at Camp Asabo this summer. Brian is kind and gentle and observant. He's watching out for ways that he can lift up the spirits of other people, sometimes doing it anonymously with no desire to receive any credit. Children are drawn to his playful and fun nature, and it's partly for this reason that he's interested in pursuing a career in teaching. Brian, it's a pleasure to welcome you into our chapter of the National Honor Society. Oh, whoops. It's tough being the first guy. Oh, he's over there. All right. They let the plucky odd guy go first to make it easier for everybody else. The next gentleman is also a three-year junior. He can typically be found smiling, laughing, playing sports, or helping others with their homework. He is fun to be around, he's intelligent, self-motivated, and he's not afraid of hard work. Sung Moon Hong has devoted his elected leadership towards serving in the men's dorm as both a treasurer and a scribe. He enjoys helping others and has proven this by assisting with several vacation Bible schools, attending mission trips with our Ericanas gymnastics team, and preaching sermons while on tours. Sung Moon often participates in intramurals like volleyball, badminton, basketball, and soccer, and during the summers, he has worked delivering newspapers and as an employee at an IT company in Toronto. Sung Moon is a great worker, and I would know this since he's been working for me this year. He is dedicated to helping others, learns quickly, and is willing and able to research problems, find answers, and implement solutions. He's attentive and precise, demonstrating his skills while wiring the new door lock system here at the Academy, and in repairing the Chromebooks and laptops. Sung Moon's gentle, Christ-like spirit is a pleasure to be around, and it's just one of the many reasons that I'm proud to welcome him into the National Honor Society. The last student that I have a pleasure introducing tonight is both a four-year senior and a four-year Arrows member. While being the first is fairly easy to do, it's much harder to make the gymnastics team your first year in Academy because the competition is fierce. You need to really be on your game. Staying in the team for 4 years is proof of commitment. Commitment to honoring your skills, commitment to honoring and working with others, and protecting your teammates. And here at Great Lakes, a commitment to serving others through ministry. Dylan Sanford is just that. He's a man of commitment and service. And during this time here at Great Lakes, he has participated extensively in almost every sport, but especially in football, basketball, volleyball, soccer, and basketball. Dylan's commitment to his fellow men has been evidenced by his frequent preaching and special musics that he delivers while traveling with the team, and this year as serving as a treasurer for his senior class. Dylan demonstrates the qualities that Great Lakes Adventist looks for in National Honor Society members, and it is for that reason that we proudly welcome him into the J.G. Lampson chapter of the National Honor Society. What's that? Let me get you this. Make sure it's the right one. What over there?
I also have the privilege of introducing 4 of our new candidates. I'm very happy to start my introductions with this special young lady. The first time I saw her, she was just a shy little girl helping out at Camp Asable. As the daughter of a staff member, she could be seen in and near the kitchen, as well as multiple other places around camp. Ooh, they've all guessed it. Right here, they're on to me. Hadassah Larche. Okay. All right, guys. Let's hold the applause for the end, okay? We all love Hadassah, of course. Hadassah came to GLA as a freshman, and in her time here, she's demonstrated the qualities of a soft-spoken, gentle leader. She has served as a girl senator and has worked as a janitor, dorm receptionist, sub-RA, registrar's assistant. She would never do anything unnecessarily to draw attention to herself. But she quietly and diligently does her work while treating others around her with kindness and respect. Hadassah loves music and spending time with her family and friends. I've been told that she can be very sassy. I'll tell you who told me that later. I don't think I believe it. I don't think it's true. I did get to see a little bit of her spunky side when she drove my four-wheeler on the airstrip a couple months ago. She was pretty fast, but we lived to tell about it. Hadassah is described as being a great friend, loyal, and kind. I also hear she makes really good cupcakes. Today, it's my privilege to welcome Hadassah Larche to our chapter of the National Honor Society. This next young lady is someone I've known for a very long time. I'm not sure I remember exactly the first time I met her. She was probably wrapped in a blanket in her mother's arms. Aww. What were you saying about tears? Okay. All right. My family and I were watching some home videos at Christmas time, and I'm pretty sure that this young lady was the baby Jesus in our 2008 Christmas program. Elena Potter hasn't done much with her acting career since then, but she has been very busy. Elena serves as the essay president and the yearbook editor at her school at AJA before she came here. And here at GLA, she's an English tutor and a writer in my department, a wonderful writer. Elena's been, oh, goodness. I'm not looking at her, that's not gonna help. Elena's been very involved in her home church as a VBS leader, a Pathfinder TLT. She also rolls up her sleeves to help mow the grass at church, deliver food, and make beds for those in need. She's always willing to do whatever random tasks I ask her to do in my department. She loves baking, and she's great at it. Highly recommend trying her baking if you ever get a chance. She is quiet, but she does have a silly, goofy side, and when she smiles big enough, her eyes just disappear. Elena is our first sophomore to be inducted tonight, and that is a very big deal. But Elena definitely exemplifies the qualities of a National Honor Society member, so welcome. This next young lady comes to us from the faraway land of Egypt. Ooh, you figured it out quick that time, didn't you? Where she has helped her missionary parents in a variety of ways. I first met her on a virtual tour. She was about this big on my phone. And I could tell right away that her bright smile would light up our campus. Ariel Robinson joins us this year as a junior. At her past school, she was class captain for 2 years. This year, she's her class sergeant at arms, a member of the Wind Symphony, and a valuable member of the library staff here at GLA. She's also been very helpful to my department and pitches in whenever we ask for help. As the child of missionaries, she served her communities in so many ways. Every month for almost 3.5 years, this is pretty cool. She helped children every single week for 3.5 years by giving food, books, toys, and even clothing from her own closet. Very cool. She's described as being very spiritual, kind, and she sees the needs of those around her, and she's helpful to them. In the few short months that Ariel's been here at GLA, she's already been such a blessing to our school, and I consider a privilege to welcome her to National Honor Society. All right, my final introduction is another sophomore. And it is really difficult for 10th graders to get into the National Honor Society. So this young lady is another exemplary example of these high standards. Anna Wolf has been a consistent leader here at GLA. She was the vice president of her freshman class. I know, it's so cute her brother's getting her. Go ahead, take a moment. It's cute, I know. She was the vice president of her freshman class, and she is now the president of her sophomore class. She's a talented musician and singer and uses her gifts to bless those around her. She plays the piano for her churches, for camps, for funerals, for weddings. She is a very busy young lady. She also teaches younger children how to play the ukulele. I often hear her strumming her guitar right outside my office in the Learning Center, and I love it. Anna's an active Pathfinder and TLT. She has helped with vacation Bible schools, food pantries, community outreach programs. The list goes on and on and on. Her National Honor Society application had like extra pages. There was so much there. The things that aren't on her application are even more impressive. Anna is kind and sweet to those around her. Her friends say that she's always willing to help others, even when she may not feel like it. She's patient. Even though she's the youngest in her family, she's mature and responsible. And when her friends try to provoke her and irritate her, they say that you're really, really patient. So good job. She is another very, very welcome addition to our chapter of the National Honor Society.
This young woman is a quiet but steadily positive influence in her classes. She strives to meet expectations on every assignment, manages her time well, and is punctual. Despite her quiet demeanor, she hasn't shied away from leadership positions. She has served as 9th grade Girls Club treasurer and sophomore class president. Additionally, she has served in a leadership capacity in Wind Symphony and as a tutor in math and English classes. She has been active in Pathfinders, mission trips, and Children's Division Sabbath School classes. Elena Atencio exemplifies the kind of academic excellence and servant leadership NHS is looking for. Elena, I am so pleased to welcome you to the National Honor Society. That's really thick. I have the pleasure of introducing another young woman. While many NHS inductees are juniors and seniors, she is a sophomore. As already mentioned, being inducted to NHS as a sophomore is particularly challenging simply because students don't have a lot of high school experience yet. However, this young person has managed to fit a lot of leadership and service into her almost 2 years of high school. She serves as sophomore class vice president and a junior deaconess at church. She has also served as an English tutor. In addition to school-based leadership, she has participated in numerous community service activities and has been a leader in the teen tent during camp meeting. Despite all of her extracurricular activities, she has maintained a perfect GPA and strives for excellence in all of her schoolwork. Her enthusiastic participation in class is contagious. Chloe's behavior, academic excellence, and service provide a strong example of what an NHS inductee looks like. Chloe, welcome to the National Honor Society. This young lady comes to us this year from Greater Lansing Adventist School. While there, she served as yearbook editor during her freshman and sophomore years and has also served on the praise team at church. She has used her talents to help teach Pathfinder honors and has assisted with Vacation Bible School and various other community service projects. This year at GLA, she brings a smile to class every day and puts forth full effort into every assignment given. She is respectful to all those around her, and I have never heard her say anything unkind or complain about anything she is asked to do. Her attitude and demeanor are a great example of what NHS is all about. Miranda, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the National Honor Society. The only gentleman of the inductees that I get to introduce, this young man is a pleasure to teach. Conscientious would be a good word to describe him, as he strives to always be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing to the very best of his ability. His work is top-notch quality, but besides academics, he is a consistently positive influence on those around him. His cheerful attitude is contagious and makes him a natural leader among his classmates. Additionally, he has served as a class leader and president of various clubs at his previous school in Ethiopia. He has been active in Pathfinders, teaching younger children, and this year is a tutor for the science department. Because of your commitment to excellence and leadership, I am pleased to welcome you, Haset, to our chapter of the National Honor Society.
First inductee that I have the privilege to introduce is a junior lady from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Go Blue. She has capably, with a capital C, served as vice president of the junior class this year. She has served as a piano, math, and English tutor her sophomore year and a biology tutor this year. She served as Sabbath school assistant the past 2 years in her home church. She's helped in an evangelistic crusade in New York City her freshman year. She has served feeding the homeless, nursing home ministries, Pathfinder gift baskets, giving chapel talks her sophomore year. She is currently a member of the GLAA String Orchestra. She is an organized, assertive planner, leader that has been one of my go-to class officers. She's even contacting me about organization during home leave, and she has an uncanny knack for organization, and I've Really appreciated that. I'd like to present to you Selah Fox. The next inductee is a Hoosier. We got a Hoosier here. And I've known him actually long before he came even to Great Lakes Adventist Academy, known his family. In fact, his mom match-made my oldest son and his future wife. He has served as Guys Club Vice President this year. He's been a math tutor both this year and last school year. He's been a junior deacon at his home church the last 2 years. He's played saxophone in the band the last 2 years. He's participated in feeding the homeless at his church the last 2 years. He gave a sermon for Week of Prayer his freshman year here at GLA. He just got back from a mission trip to Cuba here a couple weeks ago. A really good guy that takes time for people. And I remember I was up at Camp Asabo for Bible camp, and I made the mistake of playing chess with him, and he cleaned my clock. So he's a good chess player and a good guy. We're talking about Daniel Sajak. There you go, bud. You can hold it. Okay. All right. Congratulations, Daniel. Next inductee is a young lady. She's a junior. She's all the way from Texas. And needless to say, even though she's from Texas, I will say this, she has very strong Michigan roots. In fact, her loyalty to Michigan is commendable. Even though she's from the big state of Texas, she has served as deaconess in her home church. She has been a prayer ministry leader and Vespers planner in her church. She has preached sermons and helped with VBS in her church. She has assisted with Pathfinders as a TLT her freshman and sophomore years. She's helped in lawn care and construction at her former school in Texas. Very pleasant young lady. Her smile will warm your day. And she has a very cooperative spirit about her, which I always appreciated. She likes to participate in choral things. You got a chance to hear her sing today at church, and I told her, I had a tear come out of my eye. That was very, very good. I've had the privilege of teaching her family members going back to Adelphian Academy back in the dark ages, so known her, the family a while. We're talking about Lauren Schultz.
Some people preach sermons. This person does that. Some people live sermons. That's a lot less common. This person also does that. And I think this is the best way I could think to describe this young lady. She's the junior class pastor. She's a very talented public speaker, but more importantly is the way she lives her sermons and her character. Kind, excellent, and a thoughtful Christian. I'd like to welcome Marlene Gonzalez. If you read the Bible regularly, there are certain characters that just kind of stand out. And some only get just a couple of sentences, but the impact of that Bible character is profound and dramatic and has an influence that lasts for millennia. This young lady reminds me of just one such character. That character I'm thinking of is Dorcas, going about doing good for everyone. She arrived her junior year in the middle of the school year and just kind of took this school by storm. A missionary, and her family's a missionary, but she's a missionary. And she's been active in leadership in every school she's attended. She is this year's Student Association pastor. She's involved this year in 4 of GLAW's 5 music ensembles, and a skilled public speaker, which I think her classmates can testify every Friday when she gives her sermon, worship thought at chapel. She's a skilled musician, but more importantly, she uses her talents for God. She's busy doing good works, not for approval, but because that's who she is. Welcome, Shania. Oh, here we go. Mama Rimbing. Congratulations. This next individual is another one of our sophomores. He's a sophomore senator, and he's respected by both peers and staff. He's quiet but fun, musical, athletic, and frankly, just good at everything. More importantly, a man of character, and we would like to welcome, after he signs his name, we'd like to welcome Yumi Maji. Congratulations. I think if a person were to take a dictionary to events like this, open it up to the word respectful, they would find this individual's picture next to that word. Here's another missionary kid, but he's a missionary, not just the kid, he is a missionary in his heart. From Egypt, respectful to the nth degree, excellent, hardworking. I've never heard this young man complain. Maybe he has, but I've never heard it, and I can't even imagine him doing so. And while service-minded, I'd like to welcome Timothy Robinson.
All right, I have the pleasure of introducing the last 5 inductees to this year's National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. This first young man is a senior from the Lansing area and joined our school family just this school year. If you have met him, you cannot help but be drawn in by his smile and his pleasant, fun-loving personality. I had the pleasure of getting to know Ben Bernard the first semester of the year when he joined my photography class. And as a sponsor of the Aracanas team, I have directed Ben in the Arrows play Your Great Love when he diligently pursued the part of Peter this year. Ben is a leader and was the vice president of his sophomore class at Greater Lansing Adventist Academy. He is one of the class officers this school year for the senior class, serving as the public relations officer. He has been an active member of his Pathfinder Club at home, and for the past several years, he has worked on service projects, taught Sabbath school, and preached sermons, right? For the past 2 years, he's been a TLT, and he has been working on his master guide. He has been involved in yearbook, the handbook choir, and youth symphony. And this year, he was a member of the Warriors basketball team that helped lead the team to victory over the alumni, which hadn't happened in a while. He has canvassed in the summers, but most recently, working at Campus Owl. We are overjoyed that Ben decided to give GLA a try this year. And it is with great pleasure that I introduce you, Mr. Ben Bernard, as a new member of the National Honor Society here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy. I have enjoyed getting to know this next young woman this year, as I have had the privilege of having her sit right beside me daily as she worked for me in my office. She came to GLA this year as a junior, and she has a wonderful singing voice and a beautiful personality. Of course, I'm talking about Miss Leah Canada. Leah has served as the social vice president during her 9th and 10th grade years while attending Aspire Academy. She has been a TLT involved in the Ann Arbor Anchors Pathfinder Club and an active member and team captain of the Pathfinder Bible Experience team for the past 6 years. This year at GLA, she has been a member of the Aracanas gymnastics team and is part of Arrow's music, which leads out in the live music that accompanies the play Your Great Love. Leah is active in her home church and on mission trips and outreach projects. She is well liked on campus, and on any given morning, my office is full of her friends coming and going, bringing all kinds of laughter and fun into my space. I can honestly say that I am blessed to know Leah, and am looking forward to seeing all that God has in store for her over the coming years. I'm honored to introduce Leah as one of the newest members of the J.G. Lampson chapter of the National Honor Society. All right. This next young lady asked me tonight, Mrs. Wallace, are you introducing me? I said, you'll have to wait and see. But yes, Lily Mapes, I am introducing you. Lily is a junior here at GLA, and she comes to us all the way from Midland, Michigan. Lily is a member of the Ericanas gym team, and I have loved getting to know her as a sponsor of the team over the past couple years. During her time at GLA, I've just seen her blossom into an integral part and contributor to our school family. In addition to excelling academically, Lily has been involved at her home church as a deaconess and a member of the nominating committee. She is a super hard worker and has a servant's heart. I witnessed this firsthand when I traveled to Puerto Rico with her last year on a mission trip. Even in the heat and humidity, this girl did not stop. In her determined way, she blesses the lives of those around her. I'm looking forward to seeing how God will continue to use Lillian in her life and here at GLA. I'm honored to introduce Miss Lillian Mapes as a member of the National Honor Society here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy. Well, I'm so happy to introduce to you this next candidate. This guy has made me smile for a few years now. Lorillo has been a cheerful presence and has an outgoing personality. I had the pleasure of helping with his banquet ask this year, where he thoughtfully planned the details of the event. He is a member of Arrows, and I've enjoyed getting to know him as I traveled with the team. He's not shy and will try just about any new trick or skill that is placed before him, and he masters most things. You might see him, if you come to Home Show, scaling the side of a tall stack of chairs. He has become quite skilled at the chairs routine. Lorillo has been active in the Bible department here on campus for the past 2 years. He is one of the team of students that helps plan and coordinate the religious activities that take place here on campus. He's been involved in class office as a class pastor and in Guys Club as a pastor. Yeah. He has also spent the past 2 summers working in the teen tent during camp meeting, helping plan and organize the teen events for the week. He's been on a mission trip to Puerto Rico and participated in can collecting and service projects as a member of Cedar Chips Pathfinders. Lolo, as we like to call him, is a member of the Arrows also, but he also enjoys being active in intramural sports here on campus. It is my great pleasure and my honor to introduce Lorillo, this guy right here, as one of the newest members of the National Honor Society here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy. All right, and last, but certainly not least, I have to begin by saying, what did we ever do without this young man here at GLA? He came to GLA this year as a junior, and we all often find ourselves wondering that very thing. What did we do before Alex came to GLA? He has helped me personally with several projects in my office and seems to have knowledge about most everything. He is willing to share his expertise with all of us. He is helpful, he is kind and generous with his time, and a wonderful example of the character of Jesus. It has been my pleasure to get to know him over the past several months. He was a student in my photography class this past fall, and even though I think he knew most things that I was teaching already, he was a great sport and had such a good attitude with each assignment. Even though he's only a junior, he has had great experience in leadership. He's been part of the AV team at his home church and a leader in that team. He is active with the Adventist Youth on a Mission organization, where he is in charge of logistics, technology, and registration for the AYM spiritual retreats. He was active in his local Pathfinder Club as a TLT and Pathfinder Bible Experience. He was part of the yearbook for Aspire Academy. And he has been involved in the production of many live-streamed and recorded media events like Lake Union Conference Camporee, Michigan Camp Meeting, and Camp Cuisine live show, to name a few. Here on our campus, he helps daily broadcast our chapel. So if you've watched that on Facebook, that may be Alex behind the scenes. And he has worked with the Bible department this year to produce their relevant podcast. Check them out on YouTube. He is a fantastic gymnast and is part of the Eric Kana's gymnastic team. Alex was a Student Week of Prayer speaker this year, and he challenged us all to daily put on the love of God in all that we do. It is my pleasure to introduce to you now our newest member of the J.G. Lamson chapter of the National Honor Society here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy, Mr. Alex Winkler.
Phew, 25 new NHS members. What a blessing to have each and every one of them here. At this time, I'm going to have the new and old, I guess, NHS members. All of you guys, stand up, please. And I told you tonight was going to be really easy, right? The easiest thing you do at GLA. All you have to do is raise your right hand, and you're going to repeat after me. I'm going to say a line, then you're going to say a line back. Easy, I promise. You guys are really smart. You can do this. Here we go. All right. I pledge myself to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school. And will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. You can do it. High standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Good job. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the, this is the 24-25 school year National Honor Society. Let's go ahead and take a moment. Now you can celebrate. All right, go ahead and have a seat, guys. Now, we all know that none of these kids would be as exceptional as they are without amazing parents who support them and do so much to encourage all those things that we've been listing over and over again all night: the service, the character, the leadership, the scholarship. So thank you to the parents who pour so much into these amazing children. Yeah. This is who we should be celebrating, right? And I know I speak for all the staff here at GLA when I say thank you for sharing these amazing children with us. They are such a blessing to our school and to us each personally, so thank you. At this time, we're going to have Enoch come up and do a closing prayer, and then Mrs. Wallace has a few announcements for you, so don't get up right after the prayer, okay? Oh, Sorry. Andrew.
Okay, let's stand as I close with prayer. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to recognize the achievements of the students here on this stage. I pray that you continue to bless and guide us in the way that you see fit, and most of all, to be ready when you come. I pray all these things in your name. Amen.